After 15 years, I have officially given up on music.
Oh no! If you just did X, Y, and Z, your career would blow up! Oh no! Music is something you never give up on!
Let's just talk about it. Welcome back to Spencer Joyce's World. Today I'm going to be talking about my career with music in the local music scene, the ups and downs of it, and why in 2025 I'm not bothered with it anymore. And yes, as you can see, I am currently in a hotel room. I am currently living out of my car most of the time, but every 2 weeks or so, I do splurge on a hotel room in order to save my back and not be out in the elements. Sometimes it's necessary. Go from the beginning. I didn't come from a musical family. My father's family was musical, but we didn't talk to them. That's a whole other video. I went to middle school in small town North Carolina. My mom married who is now my ex-stepdad, and we moved up to Northern Virginia. And one of the classes I was able to enroll in, because we moved midway through the school year, was men's choir. Shout out to Debset, RIP. And that's how I was able to learn how to sing. And sometime during high school, I bought a guitar and I started writing songs on it, learning chords, and I did a lot of open mics around the Northern Virginia and Maryland areas. And it was around 2013 that I had somebody take me under their wing and show me the ropes of the local music scene in Maryland and Virginia, showed me places to go get gigs, found me people to form bands with, and I spent a good couple of years just trudging through the local Maryland and Northern Virginia, DC scenes, and I released a record in 2013 that was mainly demos. It never really should have been released because I didn't know that much about song structure and, lyrics and all that, and I recorded it on my iPhone at the time because it had an early version of GarageBand, and I was able to get something out. Like, it was the mentality of something was better than nothing, and it at least got my foot in the door with some places networking. And in 2015, 2016, I moved to Maryland from Northern Virginia and started taking a lot of acoustic cover gigs. Well, my last band fizzled out. It was like a 3-4 month deal, and I just decided it was not for me, and I bought a looper pedal, and that's all she wrote with that. And there were a few instances where I did play with bands and put out another record in 2019, and COVID happened. A lot of the gigs that I had, solo acoustic gigs, just disappeared from me. That's around the time that my main YouTube channel, Embrace a Suck 21, started to take off, and I started more focusing on that than music. And with the changing landscape of music, I just decided enough was enough, and that I'm not going to focus on it as a career. I'm not trying to be a rock star anymore. I'm gonna do it for fun. That's kind of where we're at today. In fact, I'm putting this out as I have just put out a new single. If y'all want to listen to that, it's in the description. I'm not gonna push it on y'all. In fact, I probably shouldn't be making this video around the time I'm putting out a single, but that's just how I roll. There's a few reasons why I'm not bothered about success with music anymore. I started getting into the local music scene in the early 2010s, and this was around the time where the internet was starting to become more prevalent in terms of how people connected with one another and how we entertained ourselves, right around the time where people really didn't go to concerts anymore. They found more ways to entertain themselves in the house. So getting people to go out was a big pain in the ass. And I just got to a point where I couldn't be bothered trying to sell 50 tickets to the local music venue on a Wednesday night. I just didn't have the connections. I just didn't have the drive to be able to go out and promote my music like I should have been able to. I wasn't ever in a financial position to treat music like a 9-to-5. Look at the major artists from the 2010s, 2020s. Drake, started from the bottom, now we here. Dude lived in one of the most affluent suburbs of Toronto, had some big advantages. Taylor Swift came from a silver spoon family as well. Throughout the scene, I did notice that those who had rich daddies and daddy's credit cards did have an unfair advantage. They were able to do music full time, and I never had that luxury. Only time I ever made money from music was doing those soul-sucking bar and restaurant acoustic gigs, and I'm not saying I'm not grateful for them. The thing is, you can only play Wagon Wheel so many times before you curse the name of every single patron in there. You wonder, why do they suck up this stuff? Why do they like this stuff? Why are they such horrible people for not liking something that is original and could potentially change their life? But I'm 32 now, I'm going to be 33 later this year, and I'm starting to see it from the patron's point of view. Not a lot of people are looking for new music anymore. In our early 20s and teenage years, we are fed the newest and trendiest thing, and we make that our whole personality and stick with that the rest of our lives. And even if you are the type that loves to find the newest, the most obscure thing, eventually you're gonna grow older and you just are going to revert back to the comforts of life. And music's one of them. And that is if you come from a generation that actually appreciates music. I'm not saying that the younger generations, the Gen Z and Gen Alphas, don't appreciate it. What I am seeing is the desire to make a living with music and find new music out there is just not there. And the new stuff that's coming out, it's all recycled stuff. There's literally, with the technology that we have, there's no innovation to be had with music. We got as heavy as we could with guitar music, with metal. What else can we really do when it comes to beats with hip hop and pop, country music? What more can we do with that? Like, we've gotten to a point where there's no innovation anymore with music. That's one of the reasons that it's devalued, is not only the lack of originality, it's also with recording music, you pretty much can do it all on a laptop, on your phone, and have everything just be correct and get it up onto all the music streaming sites clean and mixed and mastered within a day or two. There's no journey with it. There's no struggle anymore. Like, even writing songs is not a struggle anymore. You can look up prearranged chord sets. With the advent of ChatGPT, you can write lyrics. There's no struggle with it anymore. Not only is there no struggle with making music, there's no struggle in acquiring music. And I don't mean to seem like I'm just being bitter about it, but the fact that you can just open an app like Spotify and there's your music. You don't have to go to the store, buy the CD or vinyl, and take it home and listen to it. It takes the struggle out of it, and that could be applied to a lot of other forms of media, movies, video games, a lot of other things. The fact there's no value to it anymore, it doesn't mean anything to anybody anymore, and just knowing how much all that shit costs to produce, it goes back to the whole, I never had the funds to make music the 9 to 5 and do it right. I never had the connections. That's another thing. It's not as much about what you know as opposed to who you know and all the content you can create. And this is going to be my hottest take of this entire video. Music is not music anymore. Music is content. Music is lumped in with every other thing that comes across your social media recommended feeds, whether it be YouTube or TikTok or Facebook or any other site. You see it, it comes up on your page, if it does, and you decide within 10 or 15 seconds whether or not you like it, and you scroll on to the next thing. That's just not fair. Like, the fact that I put out a music video a day or two ago, not only is it competing with every other music video that's been uploaded to YouTube, it's also competing with every other piece of content. I'm competing with Mr. Beast, with Good Mythical Morning, with Dude Perfect. The fact that it's lumped in with that type of content is kind of heartbreaking, not gonna lie. Plus a few other reasons. I have never been able to get a group of people together in a band for more than a couple of gigs because either A, they were in other projects that were more important to them, B, I didn't have the funds to pay them to make the gigs worth their time, and 3, they couldn't help draw. I go back to that again. I don't want to feel like a burden, messaging 100 and 200 people on Facebook or Instagram. It's like, hey, my band's playing on Wednesday. I'd love for you to come drop what you're doing and come hang with me instead of what you're doing, which is probably a lot more fun. It could be a fear of rejection, but I don't like being a bother to people. Let's just face it. I'm an introvert. And career as a musician and being an introvert do not go hand in hand. Unless you're one of those Instagram guitarists or you are strictly online, being an introvert and succeeding in music usually don't go hand in hand unless, like I was saying earlier, you have a team behind you. And there's just some things with doing music that I didn't sign up for. I've already talked about the soul-crushing cover gigs, the marketing parts, and I'm not trying to be a content creator with it. I've already become a content creator somehow, some way with all of these channels that I have, but I didn't sign up for that. I just wanted to make music and play music. That's it. I didn't want to do everything else. And having all this time to think in the last few months, I really thought to myself, what is it that I wanted out of a music career? The answer was to travel. It was to get out of my small southern town and the rich suburban town that I went to school with and see the world, meet other people, explore other cultures, do that. And I thought music was the ticket to do that. And as I've learned from doing this is that, no, you don't need to have a successful music career in order to see the world. All you need is a camera. I learned that from the UK vlog series. I didn't mention this part for anybody that watches this channel regularly and came over because of the UK vlogs. The UK vlogs almost didn't happen because in 2024, I had 2 offers on the table for me to manage my music career. One was from Nashville when I went and performed on stage at Tootsie's as part of Honky Tonk University or Honky Tonk School, whatever it is. They do auditions every Saturday at 2 p.m. at Tootsie's right on Broadway in Nashville. They really liked me and I went to their meeting on Monday and, they really wanted to work with me. And I turned it down, 1, because of the UK vlog series, and 2, it was connected with Kid Rock. And one of the places they booked was Kid Rock's big ass honky tonk, and my views and his views on certain things don't really align, and I wasn't trying to kiss the ring. And also through another person in the local music scene, I got in touch with their booking agent that, keeps them really busy, like at least 120, 150 shows a year. It got to the point where he offered his price on how much it would be, and I thought to myself, do I really want to be touring the country, touring the world, and do all the other stuff related to music, or do I want to go have fun in the UK? And I chose the second one, obviously. No sour grapes about it. I feel like throughout this video, you could probably get the idea that I might be a bit sour about the whole thing. And no, I'm not. I've made my peace with it. I gave it my best for, I would say, a good 10 years. I'm counting the 10 years up till the lockdown, and I'm cool with it. I'm alright never making it. I'm not gonna stop making music. I don't have a timeline of when I'm gonna make more music, but it is still therapeutic. It still helps me get my thoughts out. It still helps relieve my stress, whether it be singing in the car or playing my guitar and trying to figure out chords or going busking in city streets. But in terms of being a rock star, being a pop star, country star, whatever, those days are done. I'm not worried about that. And also, I don't want people thinking that I think that anybody that tries to do music is a sucker. Not at all. In fact, quite the opposite. I know many medium-sized bands that are still grinding it out day in and day out, and they're doing the damn thing, and they're making it work, despite how bad the economy has gotten, how no one seems to be going out anymore. By golly, they are still making it work, and not only do they have great music, they have great work ethic, and I respect and love the hell out of them. But at the same time, I've learned in 15 years, that's not for me. Thanks for watching. Here's something I think you'll like. Here's something YouTube thinks you'll like. Here's that new single, and something else over here. Love y'all. Thanks for changing my life. I'll talk to y'all soon.